Hello guys, and welcome back to another Discord bot tutorial video. This is going to be part 3, but before we get into the video, I'd like to thank everybody for the recent support on these videos, and apologize for my microphone quality. I'm in a different location away from my main microphone, so I have to use this one. Let's get right into it. In the last video, you built a calculator command. Just a calculator command? In the last video, you built your own calculator with a Discord bot and your own filtered word system with a Discord bot. In this video, we're going to be diving into some more advanced topics like cogs and refactoring this calculator. So let's get right into it. As you can see here, we have our little calculate function. I think this is way too bulky because we did it in a not very efficient way, so let's try and cut down on this a little bit. So let's go ahead and just delete everything because I want to totally refactor this. Okay, so let's start writing our if statements. Instead of writing all those helper functions, we're just going to be directly checking the operator. So let's start with an if op equals equals. Make sure you put that equals equals a positive or plus sign, whatever you want to call it. If operator equals equals positive, then let's just say await ctx.respond, and in an f string we're going to write what we want our bot to send. So we're going to go ahead and say, instead of writing out those helper functions, we're just going to do our calculation directly in here. So let's say done. Our bot has calculated, and then inside of here, number 1 plus number 2. And this would actually return us an error because what the user puts in for number 1 and number 2 is actually a piece of text instead of a number. So we need to go ahead and wrap this in an int tag. Okay, now we can go ahead and copy and paste this, and we only have to switch out a few things for the other ones. So let's change this to a minus sign, and then all we do is change this to a minus. And let's do a division sign, division, multiplication. Okay, and let's run the bot and see if what we did works. Alright, and we're running. Our bot is online. / calculate. Let's do 1 times 4. Done. Our bot has calculated 4. So, what we just did, we just refactored our command. We could probably cut down the amount of lines of code by around 20, maybe even 30, which is pretty significant. Saved us a big, ugly blob of code in the middle of our screen. Okay, so now that we've made some old stuff better, let's move into some new stuff. Okay, so let's move on to something called cogs. What a cog is basically storing a command in another file. This can help cut down on some clutter and just having too much in one file. So let's go ahead and make a new folder in our workspace called cogs. And in this, let's add a file named utils.py. We won't be working with this quite yet. First, in our main.py folder, or in our main.py file, we need to add a command to load these cogs. So we need to go ahead and import a module called OS. Okay, and we need to say for file name in os.listdir. This is just listing each file in the directory of, and our directory is going to be dot slash cogs. So for each file name in cogs, if file name dot ends with dot .py, so this is going to only load Python files. So say if you have a text file in here, it won't try and load it as a cog. So if the file name ends with .py, bot.load underscore extension. Why is our bot not defined? Oh, our bot isn't defined because we did this above where we defined our bot. So we just need to move that down a little bit. Bot.load underscore extension. And then let's make this an F string. And then we're going to do something a little weird here. So cogs dot file name, and this is a substring. So what this is going to be doing is be getting rid of the .py at the end, so it can just load that name and not along with the .py. Okay, so now that we've done this, let's go ahead and build our cog. So we're going to, of course, need to import Discord, and then from discord.ext import commands. Okay, so cogs are wrapped in classes, so let's go ahead and write our class. So we're going to say class, and make sure this is the name of the file, utils, class utils, and then we're going to say commands dot cog with a capital C. So this is defining it as a cog. Okay, so now we're going to do our usual class setup and go def underscore underscore init underscore underscore self comma bot, and then our closing parentheses. And then we're going to say self dot bot equal dot bot equals bot. So this is just our normal class setup, nothing special about this so far. So one thing that's different about using cogs is that, first of all, every command you write has to be written inside of this class, so make sure you're doing that or else it won't work. If we go back to our main.py file real quick here, we can see that we're using bot.event for reading events that happen in the bot servers, and bot./_command to read commands. In this, these look a little different. So our bot.event tag would be at commands.cog.listener. So instead of a bot.event, if we are using if we want to use something like a bot.event in a cog, we need to use commands.cog.listener. Let's go ahead and write an onReady function for this file so we know if the cog is loaded or not. Async def on underscore ready. Make sure you put self. For every single command you write, how you would usually put ctx, in a cog you must always put self, comma, and then your other arguments. So async def on ready self, and we're going to print, let's make this an F string, cog self ready. Okay, and we're almost done here. The last thing we need to do is actually going to be outside the class. So if we go back to our main.py file real quick, you'll see this bot.run. This is what actually runs the bot. In a cog, it's a little different. So we need to say def setup bot. This is just defining our setup function. And then we need to say bot dot add underscore cog. And then the name of our cog, and then another set of parentheses, and bot. There we are. Now let's go back to our main.py file and run it. So we should get a little print statement here saying that our cog is ready. There we are. cog.utils.utils ready. Don't worry about this. We can get rid of it later, but we'll just leave it for now because it's not causing much harm. Okay, now let's start by writing a command inside of our cog just to make sure it's working. So to make our slash commands, we're going to say at command dot slash underscore command, and then what we would normally do, commands dot slash underscore command, sorry. And then it's identical except for that you have to put self as an argument. So we're going to put self ctx. So we're going to make a little ping function here. We'll say ping utils cog. And we're just going to say await ctx dot respond utils cog is ready. And we're going to respond with utils cog is ready. This is just to show you that commands inside of cogs still work with the main bot, as long as you set up importing them and everything properly. Alright, let's try it. Slash ping utils cog, here it is. If we run this command, we should get an output. Utils cog is ready, there we go. So we just ran that outside of our main file. Now that we know everything's good with our cog, let's start moving some commands over. Our calculator command here takes up a lot of space. So I'm just going to go ahead and copy it and delete it from our main file. I'm going to paste it in my cog, but there's some adjustments we need to make. First of all, it kind of messed up when I copy and pasted it. This will happen though. Let's go ahead and fix this. There we are. As you can see, this bot.slash command is yellow because it's undefined, because we can't use this inside of a cog. We need to say commands dot slash underscore command. And I know we are going to get an error from this because we didn't pass in the self argument, but I want to show you what this error would look like. So now if we rerun our bot and we try the calculate command again, as you can see, it is taking in that first argument as self and kind of consuming it. So as you can see, we don't have our number 1, only an operator and a number 2. That's why it's important. It may also give you just an error if you're not using slash commands. So let's go ahead and go back to our cog and add our self. And rerun the bot. That should fix our issue. Wait for it to say that it's ready, and our cog is also ready. And then if we go slash calculate again, as you can see, number 1, operator number 2. And if we try and do this, all will be normal. There we are. So now that we've moved our calculator, let's clean up the rest of this clutter. I'm going to go ahead and move our filtered words system to the cog as well, as it takes up quite a bit of space. We want to leave that space in our main file for other things. Okay, as you can see, this bot.event doesn't exist, so we need to say at commands dot cog dot listener and make sure we put our parentheses. And filtered underscore words is saying it isn't defined for some reason, so I'm going to go ahead and drop that under here. There we are. And our on message, this should work, except for the fact that we have to pass in self as one of our parameters, or else it'll give us that error. Let's go ahead and rerun the bot and test this out. Let's go check our filtered words. So we still have these colors as our filtered words. So if we type them, let's say blue, it should delete them. So any word you put in that list will be deleted. And as you can see, it logged it right here to the terminal. Okay guys, I think that's going to be it for this video. I hope you enjoyed learning how to make some cogs in PyCord. And in the next video will be a lot more interesting. We're going to learn how to make our bot join a voice channel, and we're going to be making a simple little currency system that you and your friends can have fun with. As always, I encourage you to experiment with this, add your own commands, read the documentation located over at docs.pycore.dev. As always, I encourage you to do your own research and do your own learning and learn some more advanced topics. But we will be covering things like databases in the next video. So this will start to get interesting now. Alright, thank you guys, and I'll see you in the next video.